Hey everybody, David Mars with Mars HVAC Services and Mars HVACR Design School. And this is part three. Working on this Florida house. I've already gotten the house drawn in. I got the addition aspects added in, the windows. I'm going to go ahead and take care of my internal gains. So on this, I'm just going to hit the dot, dot, dot. We're going to go over to block for block loads. All right. Now, everything I'm doing is according to Manual J and how your information is to be correctly entered in. Sometimes too, I'll also go based upon the lifestyle of the individual when it's an existing home. Of course, a new home you can't do that with, but you know, often we're faced with that dilemma of looking at an existing home. And if you want to make sure that that customer has the ultimate comfort, and that's what your goal is, then you're going to have to make sure to size based on lifestyle as well. All right, so let's see, that's the existing home. Let's go ahead and change the room ceiling height. And that is it for that. Let's go ahead now and let's see where we look at. Let me go with, let's see what we look at here. So if we look at our total cooling capacity at the sensible heat ratio, the SHR 0.7, we're at 2.4 tons. But that's if we're at a 0.7. Typically, the unit is going to be around a 0.75, closer to a 0.8. It varies. There's multiple variables that varies on. But I wouldn't size on that. I would make sure to size based on manual S. So let's go ahead and we're going to start looking at some different units here and see what happens. I'm going to go down to Goodman. All right, and we are showing that, let's go ahead and just bring that down to there. And let's see what we got. I'm going to bring up a GSZ 14 with an ARUF. Now, some of these aspects that I'm putting in, like I said, the static pressure and the methodology I just used to look at the equipment, this is all based on the house. It's going to be sized correctly according to manual J and S, but I like to look at certain variables first and then see what that looks at, kind of different scenarios to it, and then look into my reports, see what it looks like, and then make my decision on there based upon which one's going to be the right fit. Because a lot of, well, here I am, I'm overgeneralizing, saying a lot of, but some people like to go over and just kind of sling it out and say, okay, well, the computer said 2.5 ton or 2.4 ton, so that must be what it is. Now, look at the variables that you have. Look at it for a little bit longer and really see, is that the correct unit? Sometimes it's just not a cut and dry thing. And sometimes I've seen where, a 2.5 and a 3 ton can actually both be good for it. All right, so I chose the 2.5 ton unit for Goodman. And as you can see, our total capacity is at 118%. And this is our manual S. You want that to be between 100 and 115%. No lower than 100, nothing higher than 115. So for this one right here, it's oversized. So we're going to have to go ahead and knock that down. Now, another issue you can run into is where, say I put that 2 ton in there, and I'm not going to do that for this one just for the sake of time on the video, but I will explain it. You put the 2 ton in there, and then all of a sudden the 2 ton comes up to 99% of the load. That's happened before. It's not, common. It's actually very rare, but you'll find where 2 different units won't work. Well, then you might have to look for a different manufacturer, because each different manufacturer, or even, combination of how you match your equipment, comes up with a different capacity to it. So you got to make sure that your capacity is right on the money for your manual S. If you do that and you've entered in all your information, your heat load calculations will be perfect every time. All right. And then that is the way to do a correct sizing of your unit. Always use manual S. Do the manual J first. Make sure you got all your stuff in there. Jump into your manual S. And then really take a critical look at what you're doing and then make sure, look at one unit, put another unit in. See how that's changing for that specific house. Houses are very individual. Sometimes we like to think of them as cookie cutter, especially some of the big national builders. But I've found that even though that they are cookie cutter. They're very individual. Each one leaks at a different rate. Each one is, facing a different direction sometimes, depending on the street they're on. But still, it's on an individual level because of the construction and how it's built. Alrighty. Well, I hope this helped you guys, and thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day.